Hello and welcome to Perspective, the action-packed youth debate show. Today we have a very good episode for you. It is a quarter-final one and we got two very good teams in the studio today. So today we have the Smart Hallows and we have the Thinkers. Now the Thinkers successfully won their preliminary round show, but with the Smart Hallows it's a bit different. The Smart Hallows is a team comprised of three best speakers from the preliminary rounds who unfortunately found themselves on the losing side, and now they've come back to the show in order to prove their worth as best speakers. So we're going to have a very good debate today because we've got two very good teams in the studio with us. But before I head over to the teams and the topic, I'd like to introduce the three main people here sitting to the left of me, and that is the judges. Okay, so without further ado, in the centre we have Swiber. She's 20 years old, studied philosophy, sociology and drama at A-levels, and she's pursuing a career in acting. Before I move on, Swiber, can I ask you what you're looking for today in a winning team?
I'm excited to see you guys deliver your arguments confidently. I think it's important to speak clearly so that we can hear everything that you're saying. I'm looking for you guys to really concentrate, listen, specifically in the debate round, really listen to what the other team is saying and think what is it that you can offer back. Okay,
thank you very much, Swiber. High expectations there. Closest to me we have Mr. David Thompson. He's enjoyed a variety of careers, including in the British Army, the Sultan of Oman's Air Force, in physiotherapy and also in working with families. Okay, so David, can you tell us what you are looking for today in the winning team?
Right, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for you to sound as if you're committed to what you're arguing, as well as putting forward the reason points. So relax, enjoy yourself, don't rush.
Okay, thank you very much, David. And finally, to the far left of the judges' table, we have Mahmoud, who studied politics and economics at the London School of Economics, as well as a master's in international development. He's interested in Middle Eastern geopolitics and Islamic history, and he currently works as a health consultant. Okay, so Mahmoud, what are you looking for today in the winning team?
So I'm looking for you guys to take your time and deliberate with each other. So make sure before you put your point across to ask the other team members if they have anything to add. We've seen successful teams in the past do it, so make sure you follow suit. And as David said, enjoy it and trying to learn something out of it.
Okay, so thank you very much to the judges for outlining your expectations. So guys, you have to try and impress these three guys here today. Okay, so without further ado, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce the teams today. So to my left we have the Smart Hallows, who are against today's topic, and to my right we have the Thinkers, who are debating for today's topic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each of you now to take the microphone, tell me your name and one interesting fact about you. So can I ask the Thinkers to start, please? So once you've done that, just pass it on to the next person.
I'm Mahdi and I like Liverpool.
Okay, so not a great start. Can move on?
I'm Nazmo and I like boxing.
Okay.
I'm Ibrahim and I like football.
Okay, so we have a very sporty team in the Thinkers. Now can I ask the Smart Hallows to do the same, please?
I'm Adib and I like football.
I'm Moaz and I like Man United.
Can't get any worse, can it?
I'm Ikram. My favourite Harry Potter character is Luna Lovegood.
Okay, so we went from sports to Harry Potter. So we have a very sporty set of contestants here today. Okay, so today's topic is school uniform. Now, there's a variety of arguments based on this topic. I mean, there's ones in terms of it's a matter of safety or identity, and then there's also a matter of it could be too expensive and it could be uncomfortable for the students. But I'm not going to go in too much into those arguments. That is what the contestants are here for today. So now we've headed into the first part of today's show, which is the speech round, where each contestant will be giving a short 1 to 2 minute speech based on just a few of their main points on the topic, and once they've done that we will move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the Smart Hallows to start first. So can I ask just perhaps Ikra, if you can first take the microphone, give us your short speech and then kindly pass it on to the next person.
The world would be a boring place if it was the same person 7.442 billion times. So why is it okay for over 1,000 school pupils to be wearing the same outfit 5 days a week? We are the Smart Hallows fighting against uniforms. Annual uniforms cost £316 per secondary pupil. Imagine how much money is spent on around 8 years of primary school and then another 5 years in secondary. Our clothes show our personality, and being stuck in the same outfit will not allow us to express ourselves. A survey of Nevada students revealed that 90% of youth said they don't like having to wear uniforms. Many girls don't like to wear skirts or dresses, which most girls' uniforms require. This proves that not all uniforms suit all children.
Okay, so I'm sure the judges will agree now that they do understand why Ikra was voted as a best speaker in her last round. Okay, now Muaz.
I will be arguing against school uniform for a variety of reasons. Firstly, I believe that school uniform does not allow children to express themselves. This is a problem because children are not able to explore their individual identity. If we were to get rid of school uniform and allow children to wear what they want, we could teach children the importance of accepting each other's differences. Secondly, uniform is very expensive. Some families are not able to afford the high cost of uniform. Alternatively, no school uniform would mean that parents can buy clothes which fit their budget. It is not fair to force parents to buy unreasonably priced school uniform as well as PE kits. I also believe that what a child is wearing will not actually affect their education. In fact, if a child is in their own clothes, they may feel more comfortable and willing to learn. Surely we should want children to feel more comfortable in school so they can do as well as they can.
Okay, another very powerful speech from the Smart Hallows. And finally, Adib.
My dear respected judges and fellow opponent friends, today I will frame my arguments against having uniforms in school.
Adib, can I just ask you to hold the mic close to you?
It has financial, social, cultural, emotional and security implications over students and their parents. First, let me tell you about the financial impacts. So one of the problems is cost. When buying uniform, it costs a lot of money as they have to buy 1 or 2 sets of clothes. Instead of spending money on this, they can spend money on study resources. Social and cultural. Wearing the same dress every day bores the children out. And if they were able to wear their own selection, the students will feel more motivated to go to school. When students come from different countries and cultures, the school will be multicultural and exciting. Wearing the same dress every day bores students worry a lot about their school uniform not being ironed, being missing, or even being a bit small, as the school might hand out detentions. Let me tell you a real story about myself. One day in school, I was told to get changed. I couldn't find my tie. This created me stress, and I couldn't think about what was going to happen next. I thought I might even get a detention from school because in school they are very strict about uniform, and this is very worrying and gives the pupils a lot of stress. And there's also another factor, which is security. Nowadays, children have become vulnerable. They can be abused by bad people. School uniform makes them more vulnerable because children can be identified, traced, followed and attacked. That's why I recommend to cancel uniform system and make schools more easy, stressless, attractive and fun for the pupils and their parents.
Okay, so the Smart Hallows start off with a bang, and now the thinkers look very scared, but I'm going to ask you guys now to give your short 1 to 2 minute speeches, and let's see if you guys can match to the quality of the Smart Hallows.
Well, school uniform prevents bullying because people won't need to wear branded clothes. So if people don't wear branded clothes, the rich people might point out to them, and they might say, "Oh, I'm richer than you, you're poor," and then it might cause problems.
Okay, thank you very much. Mardi, now Nazmul.
Economically, you said that school uniform costs about £300 a year, but say if you do have school uniform, you just spend £300 a year for five days every week. You're gonna have to wear that. But if you don't have school uniform, then you're going to have to buy new clothes every day for like 365 days a year. You're going to have new clothes every day.
Okay, thank you very much, Nazmul. And finally, Ibrahim.
Also, school uniforms, they are much less stressful because you don't have to think about what you have to wear and what your peers will think if you wear something bad, let's say, in their mind. So wearing school uniform, if everyone has one type of clothes to wear, there isn't any difference or any stress in like having to choose the clothing that matches fashion trends and things like that.
Okay, so we've heard a varied range of arguments coming from both teams. From school uniform, having school uniform can mean that there's stress, but also having school uniform can mean equality within the classroom. Now, very quickly before we move on to the break, I'm going to ask the judges quickly if you can give me a sort of update on how your impressions so far after seeing the 6 opening speeches. So Mahmood, can I ask you very briefly?
Yeah, very impressive from the 6 speakers so far. A lot of preparation has got into it, so yeah, really excited to move forward with the judges round, especially.
Thank you very much, Mahmood. And now we're going to move on to Swaiba.
It's been great to hear everyone's sort of first thoughts. I think you've all outlined really well what you all believe, and I'm excited to hear more.
Mm-hmm. And finally, David.
Well, what I'm going to be interested in is that one of the teams is working very much from a script, and another team seem to be more ad-libbing, so it'll be interesting when we get to the questions to see how they respond to those.
Okay, so we have a varied range of opinions from the judges, but we've heard some very, very good speeches coming from all 6 contestants in this first round. Now, after the break, we're going to be moving on into the second part of the show, which is the actual debating phase, where both teams will go head to head and actually debate against each other. But before we get into that action-packed part of the show, we're going to have a very, very quick break, so make sure you stay with us.